Hello, folks. Today we're doing lesson 158. It's today the title is Today I Learned to Give as I Receive. It's 11 paragraphs long. We'll do two paragraphs at a time and we'll try to finish in under an hour if possible. All right, I'll go ahead and read the first two. Lesson 158. Today I learned to give as I receive. Paragraph 1. What has been given you, the knowledge that you are a mind, in mind, capital M, and purely mind, sinless forever, wholly unafraid because you were created out of love, nor have you left your source, remaining as you were created. This was given you as knowledge which you cannot lose. It was given as well to every living thing, for by knowledge only does it live. Paragraph 2. You have received all this. No one who walks the world but has received it. It is not this knowledge which you give, for that is what creation gave. All this cannot be learned. What, then, are you to learn to give today? Our lesson yesterday evoked a theme found early in the text. Experience cannot be shared directly in the way that vision can. The revelation of that the Father and the Son are one will come in time to every mind. Yet it is that time determined by the mind itself, not taught. A little convoluted here, but we'll get through it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Paragraph 1, sentence, the end of sentence 2. Let's get the points. You were created out of love. Okay. Let's set that as a base. We're all love. And point number 2, sentence number 3, paragraph 1. Nor have you ever left your source, remaining as you were created. Okay. So you are love, and you have never left God, your source. So you remain as you were created. So you're still love, no matter what you think, no matter what the ego has made you think. This was given you as knowledge which you cannot lose. So no matter how many times you forget it, just know that you have it already inside of you. Yes, you can forget that you have it inside of you, just like you can forget that you have any memory inside of you, but that memory is still inside of you. If this is Wendy, it's lesson 158. And then it was given as well to every living thing. And so every living thing is that love. Paragraph 2, sentence 2. No one who walks the world but has received it. So everybody who's walking in this world has received the understanding that they are love. They might not remember it, but that's what they have received. Um, Paragraph 2, sentence number 3. It is not this knowledge which you give, for that for what creation gave. And then what are you to learn today? Okay. So what we learned today is first, we're love. Second, we have never left our source. And so when I say that you are love and you have never left your source, imagine any cool. Let's say you get together with an old friend, okay, and then you start saying, "Oh, do you remember in college that time in college?" And then you and your friend laugh about it because you both know the story, right? Well, then there's a third friend who's just a new friend. So the new friend is learning about the story, right? So it's being shared with somebody else, right? But by you saying the story, it is reinforced within you and within your college friend. And so you can remain with God, like just like an idea can remain inside of you, and you can be shared by God, just like any idea can be shared with the world. And so God can share you with the world, and at the same time, you have never left Him. And so you see how that works out. If you get what I said, then that's a good point.
Hmm.
If you didn't, then I understand. Like okay. Any quick comments or questions on the first two paragraphs?
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I know. I know. it's a little rough. The first, I mean, this is a little this lesson's a little tough, but we can get through it. Just focus on the major points. Okay, you are love. Okay, you were created out of love. Okay, so that means you will always be love. Okay, and you have not left your source, which means like you know how I'm sharing the story about the college thing, right? Okay, so let's say I share a story of my college days with you. Okay, that story still remains inside of me, but now it's extended to you. Okay, so imagine that story being who you truly are, the love inside of you. Okay, the love inside of you is the story of God, right? And so you are God's story being shared in this physical world now, right? So God is sharing you in the physical world, but you still remain inside of God. So just try to process that. Okay. Any, do you have any specific questions that I we may assist you with? Or shall we just continue? As we know, the answers usually come up in the the next paragraphs. Okay, let's go to paragraph 3 and 4. Who would like to read?
I can read.
Go ahead. Thank you.
The time is set already. It appears to be quite arbitrary, yet there is no step along the road that anyone takes but by chance. It has already been taken by him, although he has not yet embarked on it. For time but seems to go in one direction. We but undertake a journey that is over, yet it seems to have a future still unknown to us. Time is a trick, a sleight of hand, a vast illusion in which figures come and go as if by magic. Yet there is a plan behind appearances that does not change. The script is written. When experience will come to end, your doubting has been set. For we but see the journey from the point at which it ended, looking back on it, imagining we make it once again, rewiring mentally what has gone by.
Yeah, reviewing mentally what has gone by. Okay, again, another not simple paragraphs here, but that's okay. And so it's saying that the script is already written, which is interesting. Um, and the script is basically the idea that we're here for the atonement. We're here to undo the ego's story and heal the idea of separation. Okay, that's our primary job. Let's call it. We're here for the atonement. The script is written, and the script, if you want to give the script a title, it's called Atonement. Okay? And atonement is basically two things. It's used to undo the ego stories and to heal the idea of separation, that you're not separate from others, that you're not separate from God, that you're not separate from the love that God created you to be. Um, is there any questions or comments on paragraph 3 and 4? Paragraph 3, sentence 3. Yet there is no step along the road that anyone takes but by chance. And so, I mean, I read that as saying there is no such thing as chance. And so, each and every step along the way has been co-designed with God, with the Creator. And then it says, sentence number 6, paragraph 3. We but undertake a journey that is over. And so we're talking about kind of like we're talking in the language of oneness. So in oneness, there was never really duality. And so there was never really a journey we take. This thing we're experiencing right now in the physical form is kind of like a dream. And a dream, no matter how real it seems, it's never really real, right? And so we think that we're experiencing something real, but we're really not. We're just dreaming that we're somehow separate from source. Any comments or questions? Paragraph 3 and 4.
Um, I love what you just said about just reminding myself that this is a dream. And I think of Jesus and I think of how he overlooked everything. Like all the things that me and in my humanness I focus on, whether it's in my own self or in another. And then I think of the eyes of Christ and viewing things through the lens of Christ and the overlooking of everything. And it really is a dream. Like it's me that gets fixated on the script or the story that I'm telling myself about what's happening, whether it's in my life, whether it's in the world, whether it's in someone else's experience, that almost solidifies what's going on and makes it feel so real to me. But then when I step back and I rise above the battlefield and I'm able to see like I am love and this is all just an illusion. It really is. But it takes me time to almost separate myself from that scripting because I get sucked into it. But yeah, I really needed that reminder. So thank you for pointing that line out and that making that statement.
Yeah, so how did Jesus heal? Okay, you were sick. Well, not you, but the people in Jesus' time, they were sick, right? Why were they sick? Because they were believing some dream about themselves as real. And how did Jesus heal them? He just saw past the dream. He didn't look at the dream. He just saw the truth in them as true, and only the truth in them as true, and that somehow awakened them to the truth in them, and that awakened them from the dream that they were dreaming. And so that's our basic job, so to speak, is to look at our brothers and sisters not through the dream state, not through the ego's mindset, but through love's mindset, through love's eyes, through God's eyes. Not to look at the dream and define them through the dream state, but define them as God created them and only as God created them. So that's your job in each interaction is don't pay attention to the dream. The dream is not real. Only the love in your brother or sister is real, and try to focus on that. And just do your best to focus on the truth in them as true and nothing else as real or true. Any other comments or questions? Paragraph 3 and 4.
This point about time is a trick. Can you elaborate a bit on that, please?
Well, okay, you have eternity, okay? That's from the mindset of oneness. And only what's real is eternal, okay? We know that oneness is real, right? And we know that duality is not real, right? It's just a dream, okay? So in oneness lives in eternity, in the eternal state. It is always real and true. So the love in us is always real and true. That's oneness. The duality is the dream. And in the dream, it is measured in time. Okay? So just imagine duality equals time, oneness equals eternity. Okay? To try to keep it simple. And so because time is in duality, right? And duality is just a dream, right? Then time is a dream. And a dream, aka or trick, it's not really real. And so but the ego uses time and makes us believe that it's real. Why? So we can judge ourselves. Oh, I'm late. Oh, I'm not learning fast enough. I'm not awakening fast enough. Or no, well, whatever. So the ego uses the trick of time to try to put you and others down. because it wants you to believe that you cannot be part of a perfect God. Okay. So the ego can trick you into believing that in time you're messing up. Then it can make you believe that you cannot be part of a perfect God. And so that's a trick. That's the trick of the ego, a sleight of hand of the ego, a vast illusion. That was somewhat uh, explainable, right? Understandable?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Would somebody like to do 5 and 6?
I'll read it.
All
I'll
right.
read it. A teacher does not give experience because he did not learn it. It revealed itself to him at its appointed time. But vision is his gift. He can give directly, for Christ's knowledge is not lost, because he has a vision he can give to anyone who asks. The Father's will and his are joined in knowledge. Yet there is a vision which the Holy Spirit sees because the mind of Christ beholds it too. Here is a joining of the world of doubt and shadows made with the intangible. Here is a quiet place within the worlds made holy by forgiveness and by love. Here are all contradictions reconciled, for here the journey ends. Experience, unlearned, untaught, unseen, is merely there. This is beyond our goal, for it transcends what needs to be accomplished. Our concern is with Christ's vision. This we can attain.
Okay. So paragraph 6, sentence 6. Our concern in today's lesson is with Christ's vision. And it says here, we can attain this. Okay, so your job today, or in the lesson when you're doing lesson 158, is to practice choosing Christ's vision in each moment and interaction. And here it says, Christ's knowledge is not lost. Paragraph 5, sentence number 4. This he can give directly, for Christ's knowledge is not lost, because he has a vision he can give to anyone who asks. Okay, so you have to ask. And the course it says that you're always, knowingly or not, asking for guidance. Okay? So no matter what your interaction is, you are always, unconscious as it may be, asking for guidance. So ask yourself, am I asking for guidance from the ego, or am I asking for guidance from Christ? Okay? You only have those two choices, love or fear, right? And so if you're any thought of any if you have any thought of judgment, of anger, resentment, hatred, frustration, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, you're viewing the world through the ego's lens. But today we're practicing seeing through Christ, through the vision of Christ. And so if you can practice in every interaction, just reminding yourself for a second, okay, wait, I can only see this interaction and this person through two views, Christ's vision or the ego's judgment-centric, fear-based vision, sight. And so you make a decision, and today's lesson is to try to see the world through the vision of Christ. Any comments or questions on paragraph 5 or 6? Say paragraph 6, sentence 2. Here's a quiet place within the world made holy by forgiveness and by love. Okay, so it gives you a little tip here, okay? Paragraph 6, sentence 2, it gives you a little tip. Do you want a quiet place? It's not inside this world of duality? If you do, then make forgiveness and love your constant companions. If you want to focus on the lesson today, If you want to find that quiet place inside the madness of the world of duality, of the ego's world, very simply, you make a conscious decision before every interaction to make forgiveness and love your constant companions. If you do so, paragraph 6, sentence 3, here are all contradictions reconciled. That basically, here are all of the ego's madnesses solved, basically. For here the journey ends, aka here the ego's journey ends. Okay? So you can end the ego's journey by consciously making forgiveness and love your constant companion. And when you're viewing the world through forgiveness and love, you have that, you're using Christ's vision, the vision of Christ. Any comments or questions? Paragraph 5 and 6. I know this lesson is worded a little difficult, but all we have to do is get the little points within the lesson. And if we can get the little points within the lesson, we get something from it. Any other comments or questions?
I really liked where it said that it's revealed to him at due time. And it just reminds me of how my ego can judge, going back to even what you were sharing about time, where I am on the journey. And I love that it's just such a comforting statement because it reminds me that like the spirit's going to reveal. Have to try so hard. I don't have to make anything happen. I just need to seek guidance and trust that when the veil is meant to be lifted, when I'm meant to have an understanding of something, that will be revealed to me. And we already have all of this within us. We already have all of this Christ consciousness within us. And it's not really up to me to do anything. It's just up to me to sit back and surrender to the experience and to God and to the spirit and allow the spirit to just show itself. So it's just it's almost like in reverse of what I feel like I was taught, even in regards to every other area of life, like where I have to do, I have to be, I have to make it happen, I have to work. And it's like this is telling me no, like just sit back and it will all unfold in its due time because it's all already there. So that's what came to mind with this thing.
Yeah, and a slight correction there. It's paragraph 5, sentence 2. It is reveal itself to him in its appointed time.
What did I say?
You said due time, and it's due time.
Oh,
Because
okay.
appointed time means that there's an exact moment in time when this vision is going to come to you in any situation or this experience, whatever it is that you're looking for, there's always an appointed time to it. So there's no need to, again, like you were saying afterwards, that there's no need to punish yourself for playing the ego's dream of time. Okay, everything is going to happen at its appointed time. Okay, so you're going to get to your birthday party at the perfect appointed time. Okay, and so you don't have to have any kind of worry or doubt or fear about when you're getting to that birthday party. Yes, we all in the world of duality, we always do the best we can to get there on time, aka on time. But in reality, everything happens at its appointed time. And so there's no need to rush. There's no need to worry. There's no need to, fear or judge yourself or others. Everything will happen when it's supposed to happen. It's all being directed by perfection itself.
And that again is so comforting
Yeah.
because even when I think about experiences that I'm going through or have gone through where I feel like I need an answer or I want an answer, and I'm like, God, why am I not getting this? Or why am I not understanding this? Or I need more clarity. Bring me that clarity. And it's like, again, just sit back. In the appointed time, everything will be revealed. Whether it's getting to a birthday party, whether it's a diagnosis, whether it's whatever it may be, like everything will fall into place when it's meant to, and I will have clarity and understanding when I'm meant to. And so it's almost like, like sit back, like the pressure's off, which is so cool if I can remember, which I do sometimes. So
I guess the
thank you for that.
I guess the operative word that Christina is saying is surrender, which is easy to intellectualize, but very hard to internalize.
Yes, because we've been programmed to believe that we always have the right answer to whatever we think the question is. And the thing is that everything is being taken care of by source. And so all we have to do is, okay, we do the best we can in the physical form, in the physical world, in the world of the duality. We always try to be respectful because respect is the form of love. It's an expression of love. So we're respectful. We try to be there on time, all that stuff. But with behind all this trying to be quote unquote on time, trying to be right, trying to do the right thing, beneath it, we have to remember that everything is being taken care of. Okay. That we're always going to get the answer, like Christina said, exactly when we need it. We're going to get whatever it is that we want exactly when we need it, or whatever is going to come to us from love exactly when it's going to come to us. And so there's no need to rush yourself or rush others or feel frustrated by life. If you're feeling frustrated by life, it's simply because you're not looking at the world through the vision of Christ, through Christ's vision. And so you're simply looking at the world through the ego's lens. Okay, I'm frustrated. I'm anxious. I'm fearful. I'm doubtful. Oh, I'm looking at the world uh, through the ego's lens. I'm not trusting in the divine design. And so whenever that happens, don't punish yourself. Just take the opportunity to say, you know what? This is a perfect moment for me to trust God more. This is a perfect moment for me to remember that God has my back. This is a perfect moment for me to recall that all will be all right. And when you recall that, when you feel that in your heart, when you don't only say it, but feel it in your heart that all is going to be okay, what's your response when you know that everything's going to be okay? Like, what's your internal response when you know that all is taken care of?
Peace.
Peace and gratitude. Yes. Peace and gratitude. And so allow peace and gratitude to become those responses that show you that you're trusting in the divine design, that show you you're seeing the world through love's lens as you were created to see this world.
I just got to my birthday party. Thanks, guys.
All right. Save us some
Yeah.
cake.
Woohoo! I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you
Goodbye.
later.
All right. I shall continue with paragraph 7 and 8. Christ's vision has one law. It does not look upon a body and mistake it for the Son whom God created. It beholds a light beyond the body, an idea beyond what can be touched, a purity undimmed by errors, pitiful mistakes, and fearful thoughts of guilt from dreams of sin. It sees no separation. It looks on everyone, on every circumstance, all happenings, and all events without the slightest fading of the light it sees. Paragraph 8. This can be taught and must be taught by all who would achieve it. It requires but the recognition that the world cannot give anything that faintly can compare with this in value, nor set upon a goal that does not merely disappear when it has been perceived. And this you give today. See no one as a body. Greet him as the Son of God. He is. Acknowledging that he is one with you in holiness. Okay? All right. Paragraph 7, sentence 1. Let's take out the little points from here. Christ's vision has one law. Okay, well, there's one law here. It will not look upon a body. Okay, so when you look at your brother and sister, don't look at their body. Don't let the ego focus on the body. It beholds, and sentence number 3, it beholds the light beyond the body. Okay, so look at the soul in the person. Okay, focus on the soul, focus on the eternal in them instead of the temporal image of the body. It's an idea beyond what can be touched, a purity undimmed by errors. Okay, so let go of your perception of their errors, of their mistakes, of any fearful thoughts, of any guilt from dreams. And it sees no separation. So it sees no separation between you and your brother or sister. And so when you see your brother or sister, when you interact with them, don't look at their body. Don't buy into their story. Whatever story they're believing, don't buy into it. It's simply they are a reflection of the truth in you, which is love. And only the love in them is real or true. So if you see your brothers or sisters through Christ's vision, you see only the love in them as true. If you're not seeing through Christ's vision, then you're seeing the story as true. And there, when you start to see a story, you start to make up all kinds of ideas of mistakes and errors and guilt and all that stuff. Any comments or questions? Here, paragraph 8. Greet him as the Son of God. Okay, so imagine when you meet any brother or sister, imagine them as Christ, or as Mary, or as the Son of God. They are God's child in creation. That's who they truly are. No matter who your ego tells you that they are, who they truly are is God's child. And God is entrusting you with his child if that child is in front of you. Okay? So imagine that God is sending you his children whenever you meet anybody. Remind yourself, this is God's child in front of me. My job in this moment is to only see the truth in them as true. And the cool thing is that in every interaction, you can do the same thing. And the more you practice seeing only the truth in the person in front of you as true, the more normal and natural it will become for you to see only the light in others as real and true, and not the stories that they might be buying into or that your ego might be buying into. Any comments or questions? Paragraph 7 and 8.
It is it's beautiful. It seems so simple, and at times it's not easy. The many times it can be so simple, to see, as you said, your brother as innocent, as the Christ, as the light that they are, as the divine child that we are as well, because we are projecting how we see ourselves as well. And we see our brothers one way or another. Now, what feels good is seeing the innocence. What feels good is this peaceful feeling that has no projections, that has no judgments. Many want that. Many of us want that. Like I have experience with some clients that they say, yes, I want to see my husband this way. Yes, I want to see, I don't know, a fight that they have with someone. I want to see the innocence. I want to, but I can't. It's the level of readiness is not there. What they want from the mind, probably, and even if they want from the heart. But how ready? It's a layer, 7 layers down. how ready are you to embrace, the reality of who this brother, for example, that has some, disabilities situations, and it's aggressive, and I don't know, sometimes sells things to use the money in things that is unhealthy. Like I had a client that says that, how can I don't want this brother to come back home. I don't want him in my house, but then I feel guilty when I don't allow him to come back. So yes, it's a big amount of compassion that's asking the situation, where this relationship it's taking a ton of energy, and it's taking your peace away one way or another. But at times it's peaceful to have this situation in a separate space, still have this love and care. But as my client was saying, it's almost impossible to be together. And what we want, what the course says, it's this oneness in the mind, not necessarily physically all the time, right? Now that's she's working on herself, but the brother is not. Brother sees, no, I'm being discriminated, I'm being set apart because of my condition, because of situations that cannot handle by himself. So there is layers, there is situations, there is levels, like Mike says. And but in general, in regular relationships, it is beautiful to see the innocence in somebody, particularly after some situation that's being of friction, or has brought some anxiety, some sadness, and then after we remove that, because it goes, the beautiful thing is that it goes away, because that's not real. Sometimes we are even aware, but those feelings at some point fade, and what resurfaces is who we are, the love. The more we practice, of course, the more we are into these classes and readings and videos, it helps us realize who we are, the many times of how we have forgotten who we are. And so this part where you say that vision has one law: not to look upon a body, not to look upon this person with a story, because we all have a story, and we all have stories many times that were the cause of some pain. And if we always want to be bringing that person with a story together, we are setting up ourselves to failure in our growth, because it's up to me to do that. So either I stay stuck or I move on. So yeah, the practice of seeing someone without the story, like I just met you, it's I guess the sensation of peace and beauty.
Whatever level of readiness we're at is okay. That's the place where we forgive ourselves. Like you said, I know I want to, and I recognize that I'm not quite ready yet. That's okay. You only need a little willingness. You're willing to recognize that, yes, I want to get there. And the more you forgive yourself, the easier it is to get past this.
Right.
One thing that's really helped me this year is meditations. And, my meditations really make me feel the energy of divine presence. And in front of divine presence, my trivial mind fades away. And I come back and it's like, it's not worth it. Just drop it. So when that thing comes in, hey, I can't do this person like this, it short circuits is like, is it really worth it? Drop it. And of course, I've done also psilocybin journeys, which work similar to meditation. In fact, I think meditations can be much more powerful. But these Joe Dispenza meditations, when he takes you to the quantum field and you're experiencing the holy instant, and my entire body is like going through an electric feeling going from the head to thing. It's like a pulse going boom, 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 for like in and out for like an hour, and you're in a different field. And yeah, there's also some downloads, but when you come back, every time every meditation changes me. It changes me, it changes my programming, it changes my perception. And when these things come in, hey, Claudia's like this, and it's like, it's okay. She's not your wife, she's not your fiance. You know, it's not worth your time. You know, focus on something else. It brings a short circuit into it. And then, of course, there's a lot of content in the Course of Miracles and a lot of things what James says, and I've heard them infinitum time that they also are now part of my subconscious. But the reason what James said and to become my reality is the ego which blocks it. And the meditations open up the block where you can then access to the things that James has said as part of your subconscious. It takes a long time to reprogram the subconscious. It takes a really long time and a lot of effort, uh, at least for me. But meditation
The,
and psilocybin really helps to reprogram it.
the only real purpose of time is healing. The only real purpose of time is to give ourselves the time to heal. So, exactly what that, you recognize that you need some time to remember what you really want, and you give yourself the time.
Yeah, always remembering that time is of the ego. Time is of duality. Okay. There's no such
Mm-hmm.
thing as time in reality. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no rat race here to run. Okay. So just have patience. And it says again, what we read here in paragraph 5, sentence 2, it revealed itself to him at its appointed time. Okay. So whatever time it takes for you to get to a place of peace, as Mike would say, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't punish yourself for not being awake every single second of every single day. Or if it takes you a little bit of time. Okay. It's all working out as it's been designed by the divine designer to work out. And you will learn exactly when you will learn and remember that you're worthy of peace. And each and every situation is helping you practice that. Do I want to judge person X or Y, or do I want peace? This is my choice. Do I want judgment, or do I want the peace of God? Very simple choice. That's a choice we have in each and every moment. Wendy has her hand up.
Yeah, my question is, so if everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to, that means that if there are people in this world who are terrible and they come into this world terrible and they go out of this world terrible, that is exactly how it was meant to be.
That is a very good question, and that's pretty much above our pay grade. But I will give you I will give you an opinion. Okay, yeah. Imagine if love co-designed the journey that you're now on, right? Then there must be something good that comes from every step along the way. It's only when the ego defines it as bad or wrong or shameful that you lose a certain level of peace. And so if you define your experience through the ego, you're going to have a lot of judgments along the way. But if you define your experience through love's lens, you're going to have peace and compassion and forgiveness along the way, along the journey with you. So when you have peace and compassion and love and mercy and grace along with you, then the journey is a lot smoother. Okay. Now, I believe it's kind of like I believe it's just my belief. It's kind of like a matrix kind of thing. When you have decision A and B. One is a beautiful decision, and one is not very kind. Okay. So you have decision A is kind, decision B is unkind. Okay. When you make decision A, that's the one that you co-design with source, so that keeps the matrix going along in the path that it was supposed to be going. Okay. When you make this decision B, the matrix shifts so that you can use decision B for a greater good. And so the whole matrix shifts around when you've made the quote unquote negative decision or unkind decision, so that it can be used in some way, shape, or form for good in the end. And so are you saying you're saying maybe some people are meant to be evil? I don't think so. But that's above our pay grade, and all we have to do is trust that whatever people are going through, sooner or later they will use their difficult experiences and their challenges to heal, to awaken, and then to help other people grow and heal and awaken through those same type of decisions. It's kind of like when we talk about the alcoholic. Okay, you have an alcoholic, right? An alcoholic makes a lot of not very loving decisions because he's being controlled by alcohol, right? He's got an addiction. Now, so he goes through the valley of the shadow of death. Okay, he goes through that very negative time, and he makes a lot of quote unquote errors, and he hurts a lot of people during that time, right? But sooner or later, God willing, he hits bottom, right? And he goes for help, and he finds a way out of that addiction. And now he's got all this life experience in his spiritual tool belt that he can now use to help all other addicts. And then all these other addicts are going to listen to what he has to say because he went through what they are going through. And so when this person who's now holding the light, this person who went through the darkness, you have a lot of things you have to do to get to this light. And one of them is to make amends with everybody, right? And so this person who was in the darkness was a description of darkness, is now a symbol of the light. And now he's got all this life experience to help others heal. So if this person now has this beautiful light and beautiful life experience, you have to ask yourself, was everything that he went through really bad in the first place? If he now has all this knowledge and wisdom and compassion, because he knows exactly what all these people are going through, and he only has this compassion because he went through it himself. So was this really bad? After all is said and done, was what he experienced was really bad? Was it really bad? Or was it just tools that he was giving himself to help a lot of other people heal? And so see, we play this little mind games that
But
the ego loves to play.
I'm not talking about a person who turns around at the end. You've used that example, and that one makes sense. I'm talking about a person who does bad things and never turns around, like Ted Bundy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm just asking about this. Everything happens at its appointed time, and what I'm saying is that that's correct, that this person was intended to come here to live that life, and who knows why. You said it's beyond your pay grade. I'm assuming that's the answer. I'm just curious because
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. We'll get too stuck in the ego's thinking. Okay, and we are eternal beings, right? And time is a minuscule part of our experience in eternity. This life is a minuscule. So are you going to judge Ted Bundy for this little tiny blimp in eternity? Don't you think that being God's creation, he will awaken sooner or later? Maybe not this lifetime, but maybe he needs another few lifetimes. Who knows? But in the end, what we're saying, in the end, we all once again reunite with Source, with love.
that's pretty much what I was saying
Right.
is,
So
we
it
just
might
have
not
to
be,
accept that.
yeah, it might not be this lifetime, okay, but it might be next lifetime, the lifetime afterwards. But see, those are little games of the ego. Oh, it didn't happen in this lifetime, therefore he's demonic, you know. And yes, what he did wasn't very Nice. Let's see. And let's say he didn't get a good grade on the test. Okay. But, okay, well, whoever he uh, murdered, unfortunately, they are also eternal. They are not dead. Okay. Was it a lovely end to their life? No. But we can all play in those little mind games of the ego. What we're saying is that each and every one of us is going to awaken at the appointed time. And so I'm going to awaken when God decides that I'm ready to awaken. And when I, with God, along with God, decide. And and Teddy is going to awaken when he decides to awaken.
I'm more like
So,
with asking what's the purpose for us from somebody
Yeah,
like that. Like, is that just
yeah,
a difference between, you know, like you have to see evil so you can understand goodness? I was just trying, I'm not sitting here judging he's going to hell. I mean, I don't even believe in that anyway. I'm Jewish, but
yeah,
that's not what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm saying I'm trying to look at what the text says about it, how everything comes at its appointed time. And what I'm saying is this means that the people who are here who represent those things are here for a purpose or they wouldn't be here. And if they don't turn around or become good or anything, they just live their lives the way they live them in darkness. Well, we're supposed to take something from that. That's what I'm asking about, because this is correct that he was meant to be here doing what he was doing. That was the way that he planned his life according to you before he came down here. So I was just trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with that as a lesson for us, is what I was trying to say.
Let me jump in there a minute. The lessons of the Holy Spirit are always gentle. When we choose to submerge in the ego mentality, we create pain for ourselves and for those of us around us. Um, God did not create a murderer. God did not, those are our ego. Those are the results of us choosing the ego mentality. And when we get too drowned in the ego mentality, we become very, very painful for us and for those around us. What the Course is saying is that whatever, no matter how terrible we may choose to act in this world, the end is sure. This world will have an end, and none of this can hold us back. Uh, God does not choose cancer. God does not give us murders. God did not create any of that. It's a mistake in our minds. The Course also says that free will does not mean that you can choose the curriculum. It only means that you can choose what you want to take at a given time. The end is sure. We're all children of God, and that's where we are. But think we're somewhere else, and this place where we think we are is a place of levels. Some of those levels are really horrible. Some of those stories are really helpful and wonderful. Most of those stories are somewhere in between. And our job is to recognize what we really want. Our job is to recognize that whenever I have decided to be angry, to be vindictive, I have made a mistake. And when we recognize that, that's perfect. Oh, this is not really, what I did is not really what I want. This is not what I want my life to be. Uh, and maybe it won't happen this lifetime. You know, there's levels of readiness. Okay, and we may not be ready to wake up this lifetime. And the Course talks about death, that there's two kinds of death. One is when we're caught up in the ego mentality, death is terrifying. My ego is dying. When we're at peace, it's just, okay, my time here is finished. I've done the best, I've done my job, and it's now time for me to go. But all those horrible things that happen in here, those are not God's will. Those are rebellion against God.
I was just wondering if I was to
It's
learn
a
something
rebellion.
from it.
It's a rebellion against love.
So there's nothing for me to take from that. I thought maybe my perception is wrong. I have to switch my perception, see this differently. But really, you're just saying these people are making a mistake because they don't know who they are and just ignore them because they have nothing to do with me.
Not ignore them. Our job here is I'm here only to be truly helpful. In some cases, there's something you can do to help a situation. In other cases, it really doesn't, make much of a difference. I always say the same thing. If you see a brother who's so caught up in the ego mentality that he is thinking of going to a high school and killing a bunch of kids, our ego cannot judge anything, but our spirit can. It doesn't take a spiritual genius to see that that's not helpful. That brings a lot of pain to everybody around him, including himself. And we're here only to be truly helpful. If there's something I can do to help, I can. I need to. That's what I'm here for. There's another part in the Course where it says that the Holy Spirit needs your arms, your hands, and your legs, and the Holy Spirit needs you to act in this world under His guidance, which is I'm here only to be truly helpful. And in some cases, there is nothing to do. You can observe, somebody yelling at somebody else, and your inner guide will tell you, well, there's really nothing you can say here that's going to be helpful. So you say nothing. At other times, our inner guide tells us, here's what you need to say. So our job is to recognize that from our ego, we have no idea what to do. But there is someone who knows what to do and can tell us. And the answer is not, it's not one size fits all. It's not always the same answer. One time you may get the guidance that you need to say something. The next time you may get the guidance that in this particular case, there's nothing helpful you can say, so just don't say anything.
Okay, I wasn't clear.
Each individual.
It's not really what I meant, but it's okay. But I am only here to be truly helpful, and I would like to say to the group that I was selected by my college as a volunteer. I will be the room host for Marianne Williamson on Sunday.
Cool.
And if it's possible, I'm going to try to get you all into the best seats up front.
All right.
Nice.
Is this for the book fair, you mean?
Yeah, at the book fair. I'm the room host for Marianne Williamson.
Cool.
I know, it is cool. I requested it.
Yeah, it's next Sunday, right?
It's this Sunday.
Sign my book.
Yeah. I mean, the Sunday that's coming up.
Yeah, the Sunday that's coming up, exactly. And I have one more ticket. It's not to Marianne Williamson, it's to get into the book fair. I have one more ticket. Samir, if you need a ticket, I still have one. I don't know who I didn't give one to. I can't even remember anymore.
Sure.
All right. I'll since we're past the time, I'm going to go ahead and finish the last three paragraphs, and then we can discuss it and close tonight. Okay, paragraph 9. Thus are his sins forgiven him, For Christ has vision that has power to overlook them all. In his forgiveness, they are gone. Unseen by one, they merely disappear because a vision of the holiness that lies beyond them comes to take their place. It matters not what form they took, nor how enormous they appear to be, nor who seemed to be hurt by them. They are no more, and all effects they seem to have are gone with them, undone and never to be done. Paragraph 10. Thus do you learn to give as you receive, and thus Christ's vision looks on you as well. This lesson is not difficult to learn if you remember in your brother, but you, excuse me, if you remember in your brother, you but see yourself. If he be lost in sin, so must you be. If you see light in him, your sins have been forgiven by yourself. Each brother whom you meet today provides another chance to let Christ's vision shine on you and offer you the peace of God. Paragraph 11. It matters not when revelation comes, for that is not of time. Yet time has still one gift to give, in which true knowledge is reflected in a way so accurate its image shares its unseen holiness. Its likeness shines with its immortal love. We practice seeing with the eyes of Christ today. And by the holy gifts we give, Christ's vision looks upon ourselves as well. End of paragraph 11, end of lesson 158. All right. And so paragraph 9, sentence 2. In his forgiveness are they gone. Okay, the course calls forgiveness the last illusion. And so we use forgiveness not because it's real, but because it's the last illusion that we need to let go of all other illusions. And so we use it in that manner. And then it says, because the vision of his holiness that lies beyond them comes to take their place. And so you look past the person's story and see only their holiness. Any comments or questions on the last 3 paragraphs?
Yes, I put it in the chat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I'm confused.
Let's see, chat. This lesson is confusing me. I understand. Yes, it's not an easy lesson. I thought there is no sin because God doesn't recognize sin. Yes, there is no sin. In reality, there is no sin. Yes, that's a simple question. Is there sin? No, there's no sin in reality.
But all these paragraphs are talking about it.
What?
All these paragraphs are saying, thus are his sins forgiven.
Well, like Mike always says, what is this book about? It's about letting go of that duality that we believe is real. And part of that duality is sin. You want to talk about that, Mike?
Yeah, look, you can read it this way, okay? Thus are his perceived sins forgiven him. We perceive them as sins.
Well, that's better. It should say that.
Yeah, well, the course is written in a way that it forces you to slow down, really look at things, and try to wait a minute. Let me just think about this. It is not very suitable for speed reading. It's the same thing that when in one place it says you and it means something, in another place it says you and it means something else. And sometimes in the same paragraph, it talks about you, who you think you are, and you, who you really are. You know, all those all those perceived sins are not sins; they're mistakes. Somewhere else, it also says that there is no sin, and mistakes are for correction and nothing else.
So is the answer in these 2 lines, if he be lost in sin, so must you be. If you see light in him, your sins have been forgiven by yourself, meaning it's all your perception? If you see somebody else
If
being a sinner, then also I'm a sinner. But if I see
yeah,
the holiness in him, then I have forgiven my own sins, and I don't. That's why I don't see them in him.
yes.
Oh,
If yes,
understood something.
if I, if you can look at his mistakes and recognize they're not sins, they're mistakes, then oh, I've made a lot of mistakes too, but maybe in this world of levels, my mistakes have not been as obvious as that person's, but I've made mistakes too, and they're not sins. If his mistakes can be forgiven, then mine can be forgiven too.
So is that like no order of difficulty, like in magnitude? There's no difference. Is that the same thing? There's no.
There's
Yes.
no order of difficulty in miracles, which makes no sense to the ego, because the ego is about levels. What the saying is that yeah, we think that some things are but it's all the same.
And there's no order of difference or difficulty in mistakes either. They're
Yeah.
all the.
In level two, there is. In reality, a mistake is just a mistake.
Yeah. In
In
level,
in yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. In duality, there's innumerable levels in duality. Okay. So there's story after story after story. In reality, there's only the story, and you let go of the story through the act of forgiveness. And so that's why it says there's no order of difficulty in miracles, because it's not harder to forgive this than this. It's not harder to forgive this than this. You know, the ego says this here, this story, you cannot forgive your brother for. No way. He's got to suffer numerous decades before you forgive him. And then the ego says, well, this story here, let's wait for a week and then we can forgive him. But the thing is that if you believe in these stories, you will self live in darkness and despair all this time. And one is the same. This and this are equal because this and this are nothing. Only the love in them is true. And so if you see this as nothing through the act of forgiveness, let that go. It's gone. All that remains is God's vision, love's vision. And you see your brother only as God created him. And that's our function in this world, to be that light. And that's what our brothers offer us. Paragraph 10, sentence 5. Each brother whom you meet today provides another chance to let Christ's vision shine on you and offer you the peace of God. And so each and every person that we meet, they're offering us the opportunity to see that their stories are not real, that only the love in them is real. And if we choose in alignment with love, we will experience peace and joy and mercy and grace. If we choose not to, that's you can go ahead and play that game too. But you will not be at peace. You will not achieve joy, and you will feel unworthy of grace because we're all one. So, whatever you think about your brother or sister is unconsciously what you believe about yourself. And your brother or sister is simply an external picture of your internal condition and conditioning. And so, if you want your internal condition and conditioning to align with the light of God, then see only the light in your brother and sister is real and true. And that's what they offer you in each and every interaction. They are saying to you, without words, they're saying to you, listen, do you want peace and joy, or do you not want peace and joy? And your only choice is to say, you know what? I think I'll stick with peace and joy. I'll let my judgments and the stories go. I'll stick with peace and joy. So I'll see you only as God created you. And there you go. It's as simple as that. It's really simple. No matter what the ego says, it's very simple. Any final comments or questions?
Now, we are so used to, give it time to someone that's in the moment it's being, the interaction was not good, and then it is like some type of a punishment, I would say, distancing from the person, not talking. So giving a space to see if it's gonna be some type of taking responsibility. Otherwise, situations don't fix. It will be recurring. The error will be recurring. And yes, and we grow in the pain. We grow as well in the distance. It's like, okay, let's say, I'm alone. I'm not doing this or that, and then for us to think, okay, this was a blessing. This distance, this pain, or something is teaching me something. What it is? What is that I need to look inside myself? And that's the part that many of us will not do it. Some have beautiful insights, and some of us only see until certain level, and some layers are still peeling. That's for the grace of God when they will be able to have to be fearless and so embracing and so loving. That's the idea to get there. But uh, moms, sometimes we are permissive if we are so loving with them. It's like, okay, you haven't done your room, I hug you, kiss you, and come here with me, and all these things. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Sometimes I just turn, I do like I'm not seeing anything. I'm just hugging them and kissing them. And in reality, those rooms are messy, and still, like if I focus on that, it's upsetting. So what I do is I don't look on, I just look my daughter as, she's tired, and give me a hug, or we're gonna eat. Let's go do, I don't know, have a walk or something. Um, if I feel like doing that. But so not to lose my peace, I don't interact in that, in the complaining, in the education, in the, because I told them already several times, and then still sometimes they don't do it. So I decided not to be nagging all the time. Hey, look, those shoes are out of place. How easy it is to put them here. I've been the one that will walk into those rooms and put things. Okay, this is dirty here. This is clean. Should be in the hanger. The closet, nice and neat. But then lately, no. Just they on the mess. Hopefully, they get tired, sick and tired of the mess, and one day they decide to be, when they are clean and neat when they have friends over. That's the moment, like, okay, and put this together. Mom, this is yours. You take it. They hide things under the under the table or under the bed. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes,
Well,
see,
Isabel, make yourself happy.
ah,
Don't sweat the little stuff.
thank you.
No, we are blessed that our children are well, that they're healthy, that they're not in a hospital bed, that they're not with drugs or anything. I I decided long ago not to sweat the little stuff, and it's brought a lot of peace into my home.
Mm,
I'm just saying, if it helps you in any way. Love you and don't mean to butt in. Just I don't sweat the little stuff anymore. And my son is a much happier person, and so am I. And his room is messy, but you know, someday he'll pick it up. It's not my decision to clean his room. It's his decision, and it doesn't bother me anymore. It took me a while to get there, but I started looking at the bigger picture and not the small things. And be grateful that he is healthy, that he is well, that he has a job, that you know that he's lived. A lot of parents lose their children early, so we are very very in full gratitude. But being a parent is not an easy task for me. That's by far my biggest learning lesson.
exactly.
Amen,
Thank you.
sister.
Can I
But
hear an amen? Yes.
people, they get suicidal and stuff. So I say I'd rather have my daughter happier with A, B's than the straight A's and the stress. Because some parents are like, why do you have a 96? You should have 100. what happened? Why is this 89? You should have 100. I would have been at some point like that, but then I was like, I'd rather have her happy than stress and straight A's and then hanging herself. No, no.
Well, I have good news. Everybody gets 100 today. So congratulations.
Yay! I love a perfect score.
Yeah, you all got a perfect score today. That's what the Holy Spirit asked me to tell you, to remind you guys of.
Do you make report cards? I would like to hang mine on the fridge. Thank you.
You got it. All right. Thank you for your time, and God willing, we'll see each other soon.
Okay. Bye,
I
everyone.
want a
Thank
gold
you.
star, please.
You want to go
Bye.
what?
A gold
A
star.
gold star.
Got it. Gold star.
I want a
Good
happy
night.
face on mine.
Good night, my